Hello everyone, it's Average Ol making average content for the average viewer. I'd just like to start today's video by saying another massive thank you to Get Good Guy, Modest Pelican, Jaws Games and Dice Gaming Xbox for helping me with my last video. It honestly went better than I could have ever expected, and because of this I've grown to over 500 subscribers. I'll be honest, my goal for the end of August was to reach 200 subs, so I'm unbelievably grateful to have reached this milestone. The only issue is now I have to please 500 people with my average content. With that being said, if you're new here then please subscribe, and if you're already subscribed then please hit that notification bell and let me know in the comments. So today I've decided to make a video about snipers. Now sniping is probably one of the most iconic things about the Battlefield series, and when it's done well it can be extremely satisfying and useful for your team. Quick disclaimer, I'm not a good scout, and in the background you'll be watching some extremely average gameplay. But to be honest, what did you expect? The whole channel is based on being average, even my penis size is. Believe me, I've checked. Well, in certain countries anyway. Anyway, the aim of today's video is to give people some tips on how they can play as a scout and still benefit themselves and their team, even if they shoot like a blindfolded Stevie Wonder. Well, to be fair, a blindfold wouldn't have much effect in this situation, but you get the point. So my first tip is you're going to want to equip a high power scope and sit on a hill as far from the battle as possible, as this will give you the best chance of getting kills and helping your team win. Just kidding. Honestly, do that if you want, but this will grant you about as much respect as a religious studies teacher who drives a smart car. But all jokes aside, if you're a shit scout like me, you actually have quite a few options in which you can still be useful. The first thing I would say is that the scout class is the only class that can spot people. In previous titles, any class could spot an enemy by simply tapping a button when they saw them. However, in Battlefield 5, the devs decided that because all the enemies were already super visible, like no one can miss them, then they didn't want to add this feature. I actually don't know why they didn't add spotting to this game. My best guess is that they're saving it for later down the road where they can give it to us for free as downloadable content. So back to my point, this means that the scout class now has a very important role within your team. I would always recommend that you equip the spotting flare, as this allows you to shoot it over an objective and actually spot all the enemies within that effective area. What this means is that even if you don't kill anyone all game, you are able to highlight the enemies to your teammates, making it much easier for them to capture said objective. As well as the flare gun, if you stick with the default combat role for the scout, then every time you hit an enemy anywhere on their body, meaning that either you can easily track them and kill them, or if you can't hit that follow-up shot, then hopefully one of your better equipped teammates can clean up for you. My next tip for you other rubbish scouts is to pick the right weapon for your playstyle. So the temptation is to go for a bolt action sniper rifle and try to go for those awesome headshots. However, to be able to actually hit these headshots consistently takes a hell of a lot of skill. And I know you want to run around quick scoping people in the head, but honestly, if you're as bad as I am, no amount of G Fuel or Adderall is going to replace hours and hours of hard work and practice. A good alternative is to use one of the self-loading rifles. This means that you can take multiple shots at your enemies without having to stop aiming down the sights. In turn, you'll be able to track your enemies much easier for those follow-up shots. This will also give you the opportunity to practice your aim without being completely useless to your team. Another good option I have found in my struggle to not be a terrible scout is to use the P08 carbine. This gun is an awesome option for people trying to level up their scout class who want to play very aggressively with a weapon they feel more comfortable with. The P08 carbine is actually really fun. It has a good ammo capacity and can fire extremely fast if you have a fast enough finger. And let's be honest, it's probably a great idea to practice having a quick finger, as it will help you with a lot of other FPS games, and your girlfriend will definitely thank you for it. The P08 carbine also has a very tight hipfire spread, meaning that using it is a great option because it allows you to run and gun and flank like a more aggressive class, but still have the benefit of being able to spot people and use spawn beacons. So if you die on a massive flank, you can spawn straight back in and cause more havoc than a dildo shaped chili. The next thing I would suggest is to choose a game mode that is going to be more beneficial to the role of a scout. An important tip to remember that will carry across every single class when you're playing Battlefield is that you should be ready to adapt to how the game is playing. If you find yourself getting overrun constantly and finding yourself in loads of short range confrontations, then it might just be a better idea to switch out to a better class for that situation. However, a good way to ensure that you are going to be at the optimal range is to pick the right game mode to begin with. If you aren't a very good scout, then playing something like Squad Conquest or TDM probably isn't going to yield the best results, as your KD is going to fall quicker than a fat woman rolling down a hill. And we all know that you need to protect that kill death ratio, because if it falls below 1, then the gaming gods curse you with an eternal virginity. Ouch. So the game mode that I would suggest you try out would be Breakthrough. I say this because you'll find that most of your enemies will be attacking you from one position, and you'll be able to shoot at them as they either attack your objective or defend theirs, meaning that you can pick them off from a distance while still playing the objective. One small caveat to this is that you will find a lot more enemies sniping back at you, as they will have the same idea, resulting in you getting counter sniped a lot if you don't change up your positions. This leads me on nicely to my next tip, which is helpful camping. Now, before you all go crazy in the comments, I'm not actively condoning that players hide in one place for the whole match picking people off. I'm suggesting that if you find an objective that has a lot of activity, for example the C flag on Mercury in Conquest, then a good tactic is to find a good hide position where you are able to take enemies off of the objective and stop them capturing it. I know this one sounds obvious, but honestly, it's so much more beneficial for you and your team if you are putting yourself in a position where you are able to kill multiple enemies whilst protecting your objective at the same time. Just make sure that when the threat has been eliminated, you continue to push forward onto the next objective. As well as this, another great tactic is that when you have all the enemy flags captured, you should just camp outside where they're spawning and shoot them as soon as they spawn, as this will make the whole enemy team message you telling you how amazing you are, and they might even offer you money to teach them how to be better at the game. No, I'm actually just joking again. See, here at Average Old Gaming, I like to keep you on your toes. Honestly, if this situation arises, don't do this. Spawn camping is such a scrubby tactic. And if the roles were reversed, you wouldn't be very happy. I think it's extremely important to remember that everyone should be enjoying the game, and by killing people as they spawn, you are just being a dick. So please, don't be a dick. Anyway, that's about it for today. I'm sure most of you knew all of this already, especially because most of my subscriber base has come from Get Good Guy. However, if any of you are just like me and actually plain suck at sniping, I hope some of you found this useful. Just a quick update on the channel. I know a lot of you will have subbed because you like my Battlefield stuff, but I just want to be open with you from the get-go. I do plan on covering Battlefield, but I also want to cover a variety of shooters on this channel. But one thing I will promise you is that I will continue with my bad jokes, strained analogies, and I will strive to make my videos as entertaining and enjoyable as I can for you. I honestly can't thank you all enough for giving me the time to subscribe, and I'm super happy to have you with me in what is already shaping up to be an amazing and exciting experience. That's it for today. I'm Average Ol. Peace.